Okay, so I've already made a video on the 30-minute orb opening range breakout and talked about how I prefer, the 30 minutes and then going down to 5 just because it's more secure. There's just less chance of getting faked out and stuff like that. But there is a 5-minute opening range breakout, which is more of like scalping, which honestly is just, it's not my favorite, but it does work very well. It's just very quick. I'm not a huge fan, but I know a lot of people who are very, very profitable off of that. So I still wanted to show it to you guys just in case, that's something that works better for you. So let's get into it. All right, guys, so let's just jump right into it. I already marked it all out here for you guys, but I'm obviously going to break it down and explain everything. We are now on the 1 minute chart. This is on Euro USD. Again, as any orb, you can use it on pretty much anything. This is just what I chose to mark out to show you guys. And so let's start out here on the 5 minute and find our zone right here. So let's just take this out of here. Same idea as the 30-minute or 15-minute or whatever it is that you have seen. You want to mark out the first 5-minute candle when market opens at 9:30. As you can see, we did that right here. Marked it up with the zone today just because I felt like it. You can do lines, you can do literally whatever you want. This is what we chose to do. Once you have that and your bias, which realistically it's a little choppy over here, but if you look overall, let's say on higher time frames and stuff, you can see that we are in an uptrend. And so that is our bias. We are looking for buys as well as just this kind of PO3 action happening over here. So our bias is looking for buys here, and so that's what we're going to do. So now that you have this one marked up, you're going to go to the 1 minute time frame. Same idea. What you want to see is a full body candle break outside of the zone and close outside of it. So as you can see, we have that right here. Let's just change that. You have this candle right here, which is doing exactly that. Now, it's a little different because realistically, if you just wait for it to come tap on here, it does not always do that. So that's where you kind of have to revert to like either a fair value gap or, other things. What I like to do with this strategy to, confirm that it is going back to, your trend and going where you want it to go is either a break of structure, but as you can see here, if we would go off of this low, it would be like there's no point of getting in here, right? So one thing that I like to do, honestly, I use this a lot in a few different like strategies that I have used or just on the day-to-day basis is find a fair value gap in the move before. So as you can see, we have a strong down move right here. And because we're looking for buys, we want a fair value gap through this move to be broken and closed above. And so for the sole purpose of, looking at this trade and stuff, I kind of want to look for a fair value gap that's closer to the zone because like, let's say you put this one, like again, there's not really any point. This is very far from your, you know what I mean? Like if you're looking at this fair value gap, your entry, you want it to be as close as here as possible. This is a long ways, you know what I mean? So I like to look for a fair value gap that's closer to the zone, but still above it because you want it to close above the fair value gap, but also outside of the zone because the whole point of the range breakout is for it to break the range, right? So in this case, I would probably choose this fair value gap right here just because it is above the zone, it's close to our area of interest, etc. So for me, that is my confirmation for an entry here. We're waiting for this fair value gap to be broken and then have that candle close above it to then get in for your trade right here. Stop loss below this zone of the fair value gap and then TP recent highs. Boom. Just like that. It's that simple on it. Like you would have done this in two candles actually, but no, like it's so simple. The orb, I've said it before, it's changing the game. It's I don't know where it came. It like this bitch came out of nowhere. I'm not even joking. Like no one was talking about this, and then all of a sudden everybody is doing this, right? So it's insane. It's very, very helpful. And, it's whatever you choose, again, as a like entry confirmation. That's just what I chose to do because I knew that, I wasn't really looking for a fair value gap to be tested on this end just because everything is moving so quickly. And especially on a 1 minute, like it can kind of fake you out sometimes and kind of play with you. So that's for me is a much more valid confirmation and much more secure than just looking for a fair value gap on this end or just a simple little tiny breakage structure. Like this for me was like, okay, it is reversing because as you can see here, we're starting to go down a little bit. And like I said, our bias was looking for buys. So that is why that's what I chose. It's just more secure. I like to do it better that way. You can choose whatever you want. But when you're doing, especially just a 1 minute, this is very helpful and it's very accurate for the most part. So it's the same idea. You're just looking for a few little different things and it's a lot quicker and you just want to like really, really confirm because on a 1 minute, you're more likely to be stopped out and you're more likely to see fake breakouts or fake moves or whatever just because everything's moving so quickly. So if you do it this way, you should be fine. I've used this strategy many, many times. And so, yeah. Anyways, that is it for today's video. It's a pretty simple strategy. You just got to be locked in and make sure that you're following all the rules. This is just how I do it. Of course, there's a million different ways to do it. I like that extra confirmation as I showed you guys, but that's it. And hopefully you guys learned something from this video and that it can help you passive fund it or whatever your goal is. And as always, happy trading.